Welcome to our introductory video on FlightPath. I'm Brent Peterson, and I'm joined today with my business partner, Darwin Hanson.
Hi, Brent. It's good to be here. Today, Brent and I are here to introduce you to Career Authority's new product, FlightPath Discovery. But first, let's start with a quick look into our backgrounds. I started my career with a large national insurance company and then went to one of the three big consulting firms. What I found was I was more inclined for entrepreneurism, so I adjusted my path, and that's what I've been doing for the last 20 years. Brent took a different path, however, spending 30 plus years with corporate America working for 4 of the top Fortune 500 companies, becoming an expert in human resources. Our backgrounds are complementary and set the stage for the development of FlightPath Discovery. I create the code and the analytics, and Brent brings the insight of a talent assessor and a career coach. We're a good team. Let me hand it back to Brent to tell you more about why we created FlightPath.
Awesome. Thanks, Darwin. So I'm really grateful to have joined efforts with Darwin to create something that was inspired by truly wanting to help the generations that follow us into the work world. The way we formed Career Authority was actually we asked each other a ways back in time the question of what are the biggest problems we see that are yet within our capabilities to fix. And we each went away for a week and we thought about that question. And as it gnawed at us, we each came back with a couple of options, but one we agreed on was that as people navigate a 40-plus year career, there's a lot of things that can not go as planned or go as well as possible. And we think we can really help people regardless of what stage they are in their career, and we have a tremendous amount of passion for the subject. So we formed Career Authority, and we began designing FlightPath nearly 3 years ago in 2017. So here's what we mean by FlightPath. Engage the slide. So we're both, as you could probably tell from those handsome photos, we're both baby boomer generations, but we have children that are Gen Z and millennials, and sorry for them, but they were often test subjects for FlightPath. And we've worked with all 4 generations that are currently today in the workplace. And been informed by the benefits of their perspectives and unique needs in terms of their career. We've experienced adversity and opportunity over the course of our 30-plus year careers, and there were mentors along the way that helped us make decisions, and good managers, and there were some not so good managers. And ultimately, we formed our own career strategy eventually. We saw people, however, that we cared about a great deal, I especially did in my HR career, hit dead ends in their career, and maybe get laid off and then struggle for years after that trying to sort of resume the trajectory they had been on with their career. And we've all seen lifetime employment at one or a few companies become almost nearly extinct or impossible. So I've coached hundreds of professionals from all generations, and the one thing they all agreed on is they craved an objective framework to think about their career, and that it was focused on them, and it wasn't just biased to the needs of a single employer. And I think we're at an interesting inflection point. This is towards the second half of 2020 at this recording, and there's some obvious things that are occurring in the macro environment that create an inflection point. And for a long time, we've been at a rapid pace of change in terms of the world of work and what it means to chart a long, successful career. And we think that pace of change is only accelerating. So we actually use this metaphor of a pilot as we thought through FlightPath. And if you think about a pilot as it relates to a career, before a pilot flies, they plan their route, they do a pre-trip inspection of the aircraft, they're going to review the weather and all the diagnostics related to that, and think about things that they will encounter during their route. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to reduce the amount of surprise, or they're thinking about the things that they'll have to adapt to, and what will they do. Once in a flight, as a pilot takes off, they still can encounter things that are unexpected, and usually their dashboard tells them when they've encountered one of those. And the sooner they can detect this by their dashboard or their senses, they can take action to course correct. Well, we've thought the same way about career planning, and we think that it's been left to trial and error too often for too long. And there are really valuable resources, career coaches, but for many of us, they're very cost prohibitive to engage, and quite frankly, they take a lot more time. And so what we've tried to do is to eliminate that hassle, and I'm going to turn it to Darwin to tell you a little bit more about it.
So what we've done is we built a systematic and measurable way for you to compare your career assets to the career destination goals. Our library contains more than 800 different destinations, so it's very extensive and allows you to select the destination that works best for you. We've identified competency, experience in education, networking, and values as the career assets that give you the best perspective on your destination. Our customers put their information in, then they receive an editable report that shows them potential gaps and identifies a starting point from which they can continue on and make that next move. So it helps you to define where you need to go next. And I think that's a big part of this, is to understand what to do next. The image here is the high-level summary. You see the career destination, the competency radar graph in the upper right corner. That's your target. Across the horizontal is time. We break it into 3 phases. The actual time frame is something you define. Each of the green boxes relate to either to a career asset or your values, all of which your flight path is helping you bring into better alignment or fit. They are linked to areas within the program where you can enter additional detailed information. From this process, we think you'll get the benefits of a career coach guiding you through this digital workbook. So let me take you a little bit further into the design. This chart represents the 3 big career assets of competency, experience in education, and networking, surrounded by personal values and time. The 3 big career assets are those that are benefited the most by using a developmental approach. They lead directly to your career destination. Surrounding these are personal values and time. They are deeply embedded assets that need to be aligned with your career destination. If the alignment is good, you'll be more resilient and as you pursue your career. If the alignment is not as good, you could suffer burnout very quickly. So this is what we built the Flight Path to do, to point out developmental opportunities and strengthen alignment, utilizing this handy place to store your plans. By exploring different occupations before you take off, you will mitigate the potential of crashing your career into a mountain or landing in an unpleasant destination. So let me hand it now back to Brent to tell you a little bit more about each of the elements in Flight Path.
Excellent. Thanks, Darwin. So now you have the big picture. So let me hit each of these elements that Darwin touched on and give you a little more detail. So the first one is competency, or you can think of those as the skills that you need. We selected, based on our research and experience, 7 competencies that are timeless and predict success. We've actually mapped these to more than 800 occupations that you would be able to explore in FlightPath. So depending on your strengths and the competency needs of the occupation you choose, you get a radar graph like this one. The blue is the person, and the orange star-shaped pattern is the occupation they have chosen in this particular example. The gap here would be influencing others. You can see that the orange kind of sticks out past the blue on influencing others. So our customers then would be guided to take that and begin to plan how to close that gap, and we provide them suggestions. Or they could explore another occupation that has a smaller gap or a gap in a different area. By the way, we actually think gaps are great. Careers are long, and there should be continuous learning throughout the long phase of a career. So we think gaps are fine. So let me take you to experience and education next. So we use a simple construct here, a three-dimensional one. Breadth are those experiences that will round you out and help you see your profession from different angles. So think of it as adjacent to the end destination that I'm heading towards. Depth, on the other hand, is a narrow area of expertise that you want to develop and use in your work. And relevance are the factors that either make a career in demand or obsolete, and they obviously change over time as conditions change. So we encourage our customers to think about all of these, and certainly to think about relevance, as there are many industries and professions that are going through major changes. And it's good to ask if my current career goal or destination is going to be in demand, or are there changes occurring that will undermine that demand? I mentioned earlier an inflection point, and some of the things that we're all observing and experiencing now is the expansion of artificial intelligence, of course, climate change, robotics, the macro shifts in travel and tourism, the ways we work, etc. So that's experience and education. Let me turn to networking. We all know that there's an authentic way to network, and we're really focused on helping our customers find a way to do that, in a planful yet authentic way with a robust group that over time, if cultivated, will help your career. We get you thinking about three types of people. We have that pictured across the horizontal of the slide. You have those in your current organization or in past organizations that you know that support you and they've taught you things. You have people that are outside your existing organization, and they would be classified as thought leaders. They're really influential. They may be doing work at the sort of the development, the edge of development of the particular profession you're interested in. And then thirdly, there's a group outside of your current organization or in a department that your career occupation is focused on that has the power to make hiring decisions. So those are the three groups that we get you thinking about. We actually create a space that you can list people's names, and then we help you evaluate the level of influence that particular network person possesses, as well as the closeness of the relationship between the two of you. So from this, FlightPath creates a dashboard that you can monitor over time. And so it's another one of those diagnostics like the pilot is monitoring mid-flight. And we think this is a very important addition to your career flight path. So with that, let me cover one more topic that's in FlightPath. And Darwin alluded to this, that this is about alignment. And, the rest have been kind of a developmental or shaping focus in terms of those assets. This one is more about alignment because it's closer to the core of who we are as people, and compromising or changing them may be difficult. And quite frankly, it may come across to others as inauthentic. That's not to say that adapting values at times is not good if they're out of alignment, but it should be considered as a last resort. Often, where there is a major misalignment with a career destination, we are better off modifying the career destination to bring that into alignment. And we have mapped values to our 800 occupational choices. So that is another benefit of FlightPath, is to see that relationship between values and occupations. We've included 6 values in our model. We've got health, wealth, family, mobility, travel, and stress. And we give you an opportunity to rate each of them on their importance to you, as well as the satisfaction currently with those particular values. And this is a really good exercise to repeat every 6 months or so. And as you reflect and adjust your flight path. So with that, I've covered the 3 assets, Darwin, and personal values. So with that, I'll hand it back to you to wrap us up.
Okay, thank you. We offer 2 versions of FlightPath. Our standard version is a great place to start, and for most, it will be what helps them get on the right and a better career footing. Our Pro version includes an extra assessment by Hogan, which is a well-respected company in the field of assessments. We've mapped their assessments into our framework. This is a great investment for someone that is considering a new direction in their career. Once you have a flight path, each workday and its opportunity for development becomes clearer. And when a career door opens for you, you can enter with confidence using FlightPath as your reference map. If you are a manager of others, you have a special responsibility to develop talent. FlightPath can help you too. For organizations that struggle attracting and retaining great talent, it's likely that career development is a key reason. FlightPath is a great solution. So go to our website, check out this new product, and download your FlightPath Discovery. Thank you.